Narcissistic abuse trauma and cognitive fragmentation. This video is an approach to identify the consequences of narcissist abuse in childhood, when victims experience cognitive difficulties in adulthood. For people interested in further information, I've included references in the description of this video. Narcissist abuse takes many forms, beyond the physical. It extends far into adulthood, where it affects both physical and mental health. Let's consider some less visible forms of abuse beyond the physical that can create lasting consequences. For example, parental neglect, indifference to the child's needs or temperament, outright humiliation, deliberate denigration. A study conducted by researchers at UCLA and published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences examined the effects of abuse across the body's entire regulatory system. It found strong links between negative early life experiences and health across the board. The effects permeate one's entire mind-body system. This is narcissistic abuse trauma, resulting in complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Cognitive difficulty in adulthood from narcissist abuse in childhood is a serious issue that has not been given the deserved attention. Cognitive fragmentation is the way I understand when an individual is unable to associate the context of the memories to their autobiographical memory. However, the facts of the events retrieve none of the affective and somatic elements of the experience. Therefore, the emotional and personal content of the memories can't be associated with the rest of the memory. Dissociation has been linked to cognitive fragmentation. After a traumatic event, people often dissociate from the experience by separating memories from the emotions involved. These are some of the consequences I've observed in myself and other survivors. Please let me know in the comments section below if you also experienced some or all of the following cognitive difficulties. Fragmentation of the self. Another significant consequence of narcissist abuse for survivors is a sense of internal fragmentation. The overwhelming nature of the dangers faced leads to an inability to fully process and integrate traumatic events. Brain chemistry and functioning are altered in situations of extreme threat, and experiences are processed and stored differently in memory. This internal emotional and cognitive fragmentation can lead to dissociation, memory loss, and cognitive difficulties. For instance, a survivor who endured years of severe abuse experienced dissociative states which lasted several hours. During these moments, she would become lost and had no recollection of where she had been or what she had done. She was overwhelmed and frightened by these fragments of time and memory, completely lost to her awareness. There are variations in how people and societies describe and express these responses, but at their core, they remain consistent across countries, languages, and cultures. Signs of hope. The problem is that our life experiences often generate diminished self-worth, fragmentation, isolation, or retreat into ego attachments that disconnect us from ourselves, within, and from others. That reality, if we practice metacognition, it has the power not only to heal damage to young lives, but also to enhance greater health and well-being for all lives, young and old. The fragmentation of mental functions that can occur after a series of traumatic experiences may both protect a person from distress and make it harder for the individual to put the trauma into perspective. As we come to appreciate the complexity of neural development, we also understand that early life experiences have a profound effect on the developing brain. In dissociation, achieving a sense of mental unity is such a difficult task that it can be disrupted by events that challenge body integrity, emotional control, and the development of relationships. Future research will reveal more about specific narcissistic abuse levels that may make certain individuals especially susceptible to the disorganizing effects of complex traumatic stress. As we better understand control systems in the brain that underlie dissociation, we hope to enable people so that their response to trauma does not reinforce feelings of helplessness, but rather admits their control over their identity, memory, and consciousness. God bless you. Please remember, truth is freedom.